Hello, everybody. Yes, I have been missing you too. All the happy, happy, beautiful blessings for 2026, which is supposed to be the year of the fire horse, which we haven't got there yet. But so here I am. Yeah, it's been a minute and a couple of heartbeats, and a couple of holded breaths. So welcome, welcome, welcome to January, and yeah, this really interesting day today. So, yes. So I didn't really have an option. I was going to be on last week, but then I didn't. I've had a few like big personal issues, but that's like okay. So we're all just learning to cope with the things that affect us very differently at the moment. So we are just breathing and trying to take things reasonably slowly and trying to just blend because this mystery is like way bigger. Grace, my beautiful one. Hello, love. How are you? Missed you all. Yeah, but it's okay. As I said, it's been a minute and a couple of heartbeats and a couple of held breaths. But I'm still here, and oh God, now I've got fireworks. And my dear dog doesn't need that. So, no, he's going to go under the bed now. Oh, I'm sorry, Bunny. He's really scared, some idiot. They're very strict about fireworks here, but this old man across the road, he saw me walking out with my dog, and he literally lit this huge, big, loud firework right in front of Yuki, who jumped. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. And they just laughed and thought it was effing funny. It so wasn't funny. So yes, a very beautiful grand rising. Yeah, that work, the energies, the light is just so beautiful. I'm finding it like really, really delicate and strong, but amazingly delicate at the same time. And it's just keep going, just keep going. Yeah. So even if I haven't been online, trying to keep going in between migraines and snowstorms and oh my goodness, yeah, the snow's been amazing for me. I've really like tuned into that different light. So many different kinds of light. That's really what I'm doing very much at the moment. And then that just popped up on my thing. And if you remember last year still, when we were doing the solstice, which was really like such a big thing, and it was like really so hugely done over the on YouTube in the Western world. And I actually dipped into, I've got even more and more focused and into the Vedas and into Shiva a lot more even. It just makes so much more sense to me. I mean, it's full of its problems, but at least the problems are out there, yeah? So I asked the question, no, our dogs don't like the fireworks at all. Some do, some don't mind them, but this was such a, I mean, I couldn't believe that they actually did it like, and here it wasn't even one that made pretty colors. It was just a banger, and we have these crazy bangers here, because they come from Russia and Ukraine and Poland, and they like bangers with double extra bangers. Yeah. So I have to get this name. Yeah, so I dipped into what we were doing. Hini, I don't know if she's here. I think she popped in to say hi, and I think she popped out again. I know she does a lot of stuff. And I've just really taken that time to sleep as well. And lots of meditation. I've like, in between cleaning my house, I'm just doing a lot of just pushing through to other levels, wherever they're going. So yeah, I dipped into what did the Vedic do over solstice, and they do nothing. I mean, okay, they do have the equator going through part of India, so but they do nothing. They don't celebrate the solstice at all. But they do, that's what they do now. And I thought that was just so sensible of them. They wait until the sun's really like come back. And then they have a mega celebration. And it's slightly different for them. The Capricorn has just started today, and that will go on for a month. So it's always usually around about the 14th or 15th of the year. So that's like classified as oh, you've had rain. We had snow. We had a blizzard, which was really horrible. And it wasn't actually so pretty. I mean, it was very pretty. We had lots and lots of like white snow, but it was so strange because of all the wind. There was like hardly any snow in the trees. So it was like really weird and very strange. But hey, it is what it is. But just enjoyed that incredible white light. Then we had lots of sunshine on the snow, which was really bright and beautiful and warm, like warm sunshine. Usually in Germany, this is like the weirdest thing, cold sunshine. So right now we're welcoming the sun back. And I just love it, the Indians, but it's like this whole Vedic stuff. You can't like dip into it quickly. Because as soon as you just like unearth a little stone, it's like a whole village. It's like living underneath each little stone you think you're going to just unearth. So it's huge, and it just ties in so beautifully with where we are. So I think everybody. I haven't really been on. I'm just like closed off. I don't want to know what's going on out there. I kind of tuned into she was a Mayan, it was from Portal to Ascension, and it just seemed like a sweet idea to like listen to tuning into your inner child with a Mayan elder, and I did it for about 3 minutes, and I thought, no, I'm not into this. Just give me back my oh yeah, there's crocodiles and everything. The crocodile actually in the Makara Sankranti is actually the old water god. So yeah, now I've done a lot of this Vedic stuff but I've been doing it for a little while, and it just makes more and more sense. So I'm just trying to get these images where I was here, because where we kind of left off, we had this tons of cities. I haven't done anything nice here. It's all just crazy. Come on. This was the North Node and the South Node in Leo, which happened in Sagittarius, which happened on the 14th of December, and it was for a month. And that was just like a stripping away and like being the true, show us your true colors and what do you want to do, and just creating our new path. So that's now come to an end. I mean, it's going to be an amazing year, but of course, it's got a couple of bumps and hops and obstacles to like meander through, and just like let go, and don't try to figure too much out because it's too big. It's really huge. It's like I want to cry because it's so big. And like it's not confusing. It's just you can see it, but you can't get it. And your Grace, your work is absolutely beautiful. That with the resonance and the heartbeat of Mother was just so tuned into that. It's absolutely just magnificent. It was really just such an absolute treat for the soul. Thank you so much for that. Hello, Victor. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, sweet Chris. Thank you. Yeah, no, as I said, it's been a breath, been a minute and a couple of heartbeats. We've all gone through stuff. But I think the big lessons for all of us right now is that we need to just like change the way that we are doing things. So that's like part of the lessons right now is you can stop yourself and it's quite easy. So this is what this is. It's like Indian New Year right now, and it's, I mean, they just bring everything out. So it's water and it's horses and it's the return of the sun. This is what they do. This is their solstice. I was just saying they don't do anything over solstice. They save it for now. And I'll go into a little bit of the Capricorn, which they do sit slightly differently, but Capricorn has started today. So this is their new year, and it's like as usual, lots of amazing things. So I'm really dipping deeper into the Veda stuff. So I think that's where I will kind of be putting all my feathers, some of my feathers around and just interpreting it. So it's a whole new threshold, and it's the junction. It's because of Saturn, so it's time, and of course Shiva is always there. I really like, thank God for Shiva. I'm like I'm just like really honored and blessed that Shiva is so deeply in my life. He holds so much for me. And just I'm like, yeah, I'm just it's almost like I'm finished. I'm like finished on the path now. It's like the pathless path by God's grace. It's like just look and change how you deal with things, change how we deal with our traumas. So there's a lot of karma right now just dropping again. So this is from the Indian, the Vedic perspective. It's a whole total, and it actually holds the whole spine. There's almost 33 magical vertebrae of Gaia. And we've figured that there's so many of the cosmic serpents all over. It sounds so bitter because there's like this the returns of the serpents, and there's rainbows and there's rainbow energy. And I know that, I mean, I see a lot of other people, and I know that Grace is really tuning into a lot of the different kinds of light on the planet. There's just so much light, but different kinds. It's like so beautiful. So yeah, I don't know where I am. I haven't been on here for a while, and I think I've forgotten completely how to do this. So let's just go through old Makara. It's not Makara, it's Makaba. Sankranti, the true solar new year, because it's quite exciting. Unlike our Western calendar, the Vedic time is solar and cosmic. It doesn't just kind of happen. It marks the moment when Surya is the sun, that's that guy with all those horses, begins his northward journey, the return of the light, the ascent, clarity, and the dharmic momentum. Dharmic is what are we here to do? So that's your dharma, it's not your karma. So they call this the new year of light. And it's really, as I said, they don't do anything for solstice. We lighting logs in the dark of the night and keeping the fire burning and burning. They're not interested. They wait until the sun's really turned. And it's actually kind of quite a harvest festival. And because remember, they do have the equator going past some of India. So it's a completely different um, temperature to Europe or to the northern hemisphere. Um, but yeah, they fly in kites, so it's like this whole thing of light and air and color and true Bollywood style, up and away we go. and just like, I'm sure they write wonderful things into their kites. So kites like flying in the air, and it's also part of the Akash. Yeah, so it's for me. Shiva right now is very much the fire, and well, it's the solar plexus and the heart. It kind of works on the 5 elements. Comes to Shiva. So the heart is Va, which is air. So it's fire and air, and of course, yeah, all of them. But we're going to go. We've got a very exciting year ahead of us, working with our chakras and connecting with colors and connecting with energies. And it's so complicated, but it's actually so incredibly simple. And just breathing and just like enjoying, I'm just kind of reminded, I was like reminding myself a little bit about the enlightenment of Buddha, which was quite fun. We really, I miss you, and we miss Grace. Mhm. Yeah. Hi, Millie. Been missing you, girl, but it's fine. I know that we're all fine. I hope that you're fine. I know that we're fine. We're just all doing what we need to do, and it's all about light right now. And it's just it's actually really simple. That was with Buddha. Or his name's not Buddha. His name was what was his name? Oh God, I've just forgotten his name. I can see it, but I can't say it. Gosh, that's so weird. But he became such an ascetic for, I think it was 4 to 7 years, where he was he didn't eat, and he was really like very very hard on his body, and he had his band of followers, and when he was actually dying. He was like really like, and he said, well, if I sit under this tree and I don't get enlightenment, well, that's it. I mean, he barely even managed to get across the river. So there he was sitting under the tree, and he actually, he just made that decision. So it's when we make that like really strong decision in ourselves that this is it. This is like, here's the line. And he sat under the tree and he received enlightenment. And when he opened his eyes and his faithful ascetics were there with him, they were waiting for some like really harsh something, and he said, let's eat. They haven't eaten for 4 years. Let's cook something. Let's have something to eat. And they were totally disappointed and actually left him because he got a whole new group of followers. But they wanted something, that you had to do, or you had to say, or you had to like roll around and flagellate or something. But it wasn't. It was just let's party. Let's have something to eat and let's cook something. So that's kind of where we're going right now. It's the pathless path. So all the striving, which is all right, but sometimes we just keep striving, and we have to just let go. It's this whole trauma, this get out of the trauma. I mean, this is yet again that we've given this incredible time right now again. Siddhartha was his name. That was the most beautiful. Thank you so much, Grace. I needed that. And I was just looking at them. I needed those beautiful, beautiful pictures. Yeah. So as I said, we've got New Year right now, which is the return of the sun. And Sankranti literally means the sacred crossing. And Makara is Capricorn, the gateway sign of karma and earth law and time and Saturn and crows, and it is a little austere. So uh, it's also, I think, Capricorns. I have, well, my father was Capricorn, my sister was Capricorn. So in the Vedic, it is not, it's actually the water goat. I mean, it's the water dragon, it's the sea dragon. The Makara is a crocodile, it's not the goat. And yet, of course, here we go all the way back again to the water guardians, and we will doing this whole like back to the circle of the snake people and the fish people and the seven rishis and the ancient sites, and so it just keeps going around again into this beautiful circle. And just from a Western point of view, if you've ever seen, I was looking at a little short of how these goats actually climb up these mountain goats. These are the Capricorn goats. It's literally almost a sheer cliff, and they just find like the tiniest little thing that they can, and they actually hop. It's like it's insane, and then they come running down this like completely vertical thing. But Capricorn people they can be like quite mercenary and quite harsh. They're very focused and they are very money oriented. So they can be a little like heartless. But once they get to the top of the mountain, should they manage to climb to get to the top, it's not always an easy journey for them to get to the top of the mountain. They blossom into the most amazing, beautiful hearts of purity and spirituality that are so, so full of love, and big on understanding. So, as I said, it is actually the crocodile. So, it's the spinal gate of Earth. It's the keeper of karmic memory. So we have this, especially at the way that the energies are moving at this time. And what I forgot to actually do an image of is that we have Ganesha. It saw us into our new year on the Wednesday, and it's Ganesha's day today. So yay for Ganesha again. So he's really like working very hard this year. And we've got still quite a little bit of time to do the shedding of that snake. So I think the cosmic serpent is coming up for a lot of people. Again, people are seeing it all over the place. It's coming on rainbows all over the place. So the shedding will go on as New Year is on the 17th, I think, 17th or 18th of February. It's quite late this year. And then we move into the fire horse, which I'll talk about because it's actually a water sign. So we've got like this whole dynamic going on of water and fire, which is really exciting. So I think, but we won't go there right now. So this for the Makara, it's back to the water, always back to the water. So we're going back to these ancient waters. It's the memory again, and it's the memory of the crocodiles or the animals coming out of the water onto the land and seeding the earth. So they're guardians of time. Remember we did a thing a while back on crocodiles, and I was like spun out as to how old the crocodile was. I think it was 250 million years old. And they don't actually die. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think that we've got ones for 250. Yeah, they're very disciplined. Yeah. Yeah. Very disciplined, yeah. I like them. I actually, yeah. Oh, so enjoy the water dragon. That's really like for now. Mhm. Yeah, we did that with the crocodiles, and that actually led us into this whole huge thing going deep down into the Nomo and into the snakes, the original seeders of the earth. Yeah, but we're not going there today. We're just going to try and keep this. I've got so much to share. It's been absolutely fabulous in between the other stuff. Um, but yeah, please, just like that's like it's. I said it last year. It seems to be like the new black. Orange is the new black. Pink is the new black. Trauma. OCD became the new black a while back. Just like I'm OCD, ADHD, trauma. Guys, just let it go. You know, it comes up and look at it and let it go and just choose a different way to deal with it, because you don't want to deal. I know. I know. I get very angry with myself. Just this is the latest thing that I do. For a while, I get angry. I get angry with myself, and then I start annihilating myself. So I don't need to do that, So I can just like cross that boundary. Um, so it's like so we're dealing again with a lot of the water, and remember we've had snow. I don't know if you saw the amazing pictures that I got from the lake. They're so weird. It was like this whole mush puppy in the lake. And it was so wonderful because we've been really snowed in, and I haven't been able to go out for all, well, not far. And the last 2 days have been really scary to walk because it's so slippy, slippy, slippy. So I did manage to wobble down to the lake to go and pour some beautiful water. And there was this. I didn't have my camera with me, so I went down later to take pictures. It was just absolutely breathtaking, but very strange. I don't know. I don't know how those. I don't know. It kind of reminded me of the churning of the waters. That whole story, which that's why I'm bringing that up, which is that trauma. Um, where Shiva, there was that. They wanted the immortality, which is where we are right now. Eh? It's quite interesting, wanting immortality, and that comes up just now, but they don't celebrate it. I don't think they celebrate it. They only celebrate it every 12 years. And the last one, whatever it is, the last one last year was like that one came around only once, 144 years. So it was a very big one last year. I remember millions and millions and millions of people in India bathing in the beautiful Ganges and all those crazy, what are they called? You know, those guys covered in ash. I love them so much. Yeah. So but that's very Capricorn, is what are you doing here? What's your future? What work are you doing? Don't get too into it, but yes, it's important. Yeah. It's like, but have fun doing it. Yeah. And as I keep saying, the most important thing that we've got to do here is just shine. And the rest is all an absolute bonus. So figure out how you shine and how you cut your karma, and how you, well, it's not the karma, it's cutting the way that you deal with the shit, and once you start cutting one, the rest start falling apart. It's like this crazy knot work. Just cut one and then the rest start tumbling. So the Makara is, as I said, they don't do very many crocodiles in India, remember? Very few. Mhm. Um, I mean, that was that more that the lizard people were from parts of Africa, not all of Africa. So they're part of Naga but they're not really. I don't think so. I think there's definitely a difference between the reptilians and the cosmic serpent. Slight difference. What was but we'll talk about Patanjali another time, because it's quite important to get through to Patanjali soon, because he simplified everything for a while. He was just before Buddha, um, Siddhartha. Um, yeah, and there's so much I just want to share, and it's just so old, and it's just so beautiful, and it's just so wonderful. He kind of made it, simplified it a bit. So you can make it as complicated as you want. Okay, I'll throw that in right now. Because at that time, when Patanjali arrived, and he was this being with the snake body, I was thinking about it the other day. He could have been paralyzed from the waist down. So maybe that's just the way that they depicted him. So maybe in reality, I mean, the story is that his mother snake came down to her hands and it grew into Patanjali. But he was very, very, very wise and very simple, and he kind of put the Rig Veda into basically one page. Because at that time, and we're going back here like 7,000 years ago, or 3,000, no, it's not quite that long. 3,000 years ago, 2.5. When was Buddha? Buddha was 500 years before Jesus. Yeah. So it's 2,500 years ago. There were over 1,800 religions or ways to do religion in India. So it was, you could, yeah, and each was more austere than the other. And they were like, you have to say, do it this way, you have to do it that way. So it was a lot of like religions going on or ways to do things. But back to our crocodile. So all of that applies, full of river myths, Ganga, the Naga law, the earth guardianship, and of course back to the ancient African and Indic water beings. I'm still in two minds. I'm like, um, I I think that there were definitely different beings. They were everybody has their seven rishis. I don't think that they were all the same, but we'll go into that another time. It's all the same. It's all links, and it's just our base that we're moving on with and moving into this next phase, which is really simple. Yeah. So yeah. So what is shifting right now is the sunlight begins to rise higher and higher each day. We're really feeling it here in Germany. The sun is warm. It's not usually warm, and we actually have sun at the moment. Um, oh, PG, hello, my love. Ooh. Oh no, we're over the Dungeons and Dragons. No, I'm in another space. I used to do all of that. So thank you, yeah. I do have some. I don't really want to talk about my dog right now. It makes me don't cry. He's okay though. I think he's okay. Well, he's not okay, but he's okay. So, yeah, simple is complicated. Simple is the most complicated to be, because it's like it's got to be more. It can't just be so simple. Yeah, it is really so simple. You know, gets back to before enlightenment. Chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, the wood is chopped and water is carried. Um, we're doing the same thing, but just with consciousness. If we can just see everything, and it's so simple as that. That everything is divine. Everything. From this pen to my tea to a rock, obviously better in nature, to the grumpy lady downstairs, to the beautiful Indian boys I meet at the lake, to you guys. Everything is divine. Everything. So if we just keep reminding ourselves that, and we have to keep reminding ourselves, that was actually that's why we have to get into the time. I'm like, but I have for a while, especially with the Naga stuff. I mean, this is like, it's so interesting for me that I deal with all of this. I've got this whole list of what we want to discuss just in the beginning of this year. But Patanjali said something really beautiful. So maybe you want to write this. And it's all about, as I've said, it's like we get enlightenment through discipline and we maintain it through discipline. But he had this very, very beautiful thing that he said. Find it in some of our notes. Yeah. I don't want to misquote it. There it is. Concentration is achieved, and that's, of course, that's the most important thing. Most important thing, the only two things that it's what it's all about is the mind and the body, but they don't really belong to us, and we're in control of them. So take control of them. So that's like, how are you going to deal with the way that you are dealing with your trauma? What is your trauma trigger? So just change it. Be strong. Jump in there. And the more that you jump in there, the more that you focus. Focus is very difficult for us. Given us lots of exercises, and the more that we do them, the more we should. But this is what Patanjali said. Concentration is achieved if practiced with great intensity. There's no easy way around this stuff, It's and then you must maintain it as much as you can. Yeah. It's so lax, but at the same time, it's not. So, but it doesn't have to be, hours and hours and hours. But to do your stretching, your stretching, your body stretching, your chanting, your mantras, working with those sounds in your body, because these are what are taking us through into the next levels, through the next levels of light. So much light is just opening up. I hope you guys are seeing it. Lots of levels of new lights, new colors. So pretty. So time. Remember, Shiva is also the master of time. Shiva is like pretty much everything. I'm not quite sure what he isn't. And we having this, so just try to just bring yourself into yourself, because we're going to have that full day and night of Mahashivratri coming up. I think it's in 3 weeks' time. Remember, we did that all-nighter. Okay, so the sun's light is beginning to rise. We're getting that hope of spring. This is what's happening in our soul as well. Yeah? Earth's electromagnetic field is reorganizing hugely at the moment. I mean, we know that there's just so much sun pumping down, so many light codes. Oh yeah, I saw, Millie, you put that up there, which was really interesting, with the was it the 26,000 year anniversary? That was like a couple of days ago. And then I thought, okay, wow, this is just so interesting, because here we have new light, the new sun, like pouring onto the earth. I mean, the timings at the moment are just absolutely extraordinary. Karma begins to loosen. It's a gift. Seeds planted now carry long-term destiny power. So it's allowed to just, I saw Josh had put like a cord cutting thing. Yeah. We don't have to force any of this right now. If you just know it's really happening, and you will feel it. Um, it's just by, as I said, by changing the way that we do things, changing the way that we react. And yeah, just like now, if you can just like try to commit to just one little thing, like maybe don't gossip, don't grumble, be polite to one, extra polite to one particular person. Just try to find something really small, well, not so small, or whatever, just try to cut that, because once you cut something, then the rest it becomes like dominoes. So karma. Yeah, karma for the India. But apparently, I haven't been to India. I missed that opportunity, but I'll get there again. Um, that people say either you love it or you hate it, because people are just like everybody smiles. I saw there was an article a while back that they had to like teach their policemen and the people, especially at the airports, to not smile so much, and they taught the Russians to smile more. um, It doesn't destroy karma, it transmutes it. It completes the cycles. So it's been that whole winter cycle, and now the seeds are starting to germinate. Okay, it releases all those old frozen patterns. But look at them, don't just ignore them. It allows old contracts to expire, and obviously we also, a lot of us are making new contracts again. It's a rededication right now to the sun, to the light, to the path, to yourself. Okay. Also, obviously, a lot of the ancestral weight for those that want it, and it opens up this pathway to forward movement. Also, thinking, I was thinking of something. Oh, right. Yeah, it's very interesting that in Germany they often say that now is actually the beginning of winter, and it can get really, really cold now. But if you're in India, and we have also these these clowns here. There was this guy at the lake today came down. It's like covered in blobs of ice. And he comes down to come and see if he can come and swim yet. No, I'm going to wait a day or two. It was cool. So people come swimming in the rivers. Lots of offerings, lots of gratitude to our ancestors, a lot of gratitude to take us on our new pathway. We're cleaning our houses again. So, I said long ago, if you just hang in there, you can do that like New Year almost every day of the year. Because, like, if you're Jewish, then you have New Year around about September, I think. So, you can have a New Year pretty much every month if you embrace different religions of the world. I was just thinking if this wasn't like such a breath between time and from the 21st of December to now. It just feels like such a beautiful space of grace, which it has been, yeah, from, I think, for everybody. Um, Change your eating habits. Again, don't eat too heavily. We're going to have to all change our eating habits more and more and more. And I just still say just eat the best food that you can. You know what I mean? That you can buy. Yeah. Just don't do too many of the preserved things, packaged stuff, oily stuff, fast foods. Don't do those. So our homes are also cleaned and kites are flown to signify the air and wind and breath, which is the akasha. It's flying up into the sky, which is also the sky mantra, which is Shiva again. He's always around. And these are all the elements of alchemy, not religion. Religion requires a belief system. Religion requires faith. Spirituality requires technology and formulas. We've lost a lot of that, and it's like been for me the last few years. I've really like battled with it. Where we talk about consciousness and awareness, it's actually taken a lot of the devotion out of it. For me, that's just my feeling about it, because those words in the Veda were more religious, were more spiritual, had more devotion and divinity and adoration attached to them. But yeah, you know how I feel about the Western stuff. There's so many loopholes in it. There's so much missing, and it's so complicated to patch it all together. And every so many people are still arguing and fighting amongst themselves, So, I mean, I do respect, and it's very much the rise of the dragon bloodlines, and but so much enmity was put between, and so much terror, and they were made to be bad, and but it was like we went through that. We'll go through it obviously again and again and again. How we have been taught and brainwashed that what's good is bad and what's bad is good. But we need to like just jump through this stuff. Jump through to the other side, and then we're not attached to any path anymore. It's all about free will and choice. So again, water is always central. You know that whatever ceremony they do, they always like splash water first. So it's the Holy Mother. And then there's Ganesha, who's always brought in, and then there's always fire. So people, yeah, they're generally bathing. So give yourself a nice, beautiful cleansing bath, a good soak, a good salt scrub. Just really like that you come up all beautiful and clear, clean. Very nice if you can do it before sunrise. It's not so difficult. It's winter for most of us. Offer water to the sun, sprinkle water, pour blessed water on the earth. Give thanks to your water. Honor the river goddesses. There's very different spirits that are attached to salt water, and different spirits to savory water, to salt water, and to sweet water. Bless our land, bless your food, bless yourself. We're all divine. And don't forget, water holds memory. Remember, we went through all of that with how strong just this 1 grain of salt was in holding memory. Sea salt. Well, rock salt too, that's also pretty old. And your Mother Gaia is definitely moving and elevating and rising and beating and floating, and obviously there's still a lot of grief. Do what you can to relieve her grief. That's why pouring water, singing beautiful songs to her, singing lullabies to her. Yeah. Oh, a lot, hey. Mm. Uh, yeah, that's going to be wonderful to do with Jared again. Yeah. He's very special. He's got a very special energy. Yeah. Lots of light. And choose the light. It's just so much. And if just like, and ask. So I want to see some of the different light out there. There's just so many different kinds of light. I've just been like going through like layers of light. That's why I don't really, I'm just like, I don't want to know anything right now. I'm going to just do what I'm doing. So I'll come back again. Just I'm way too sensitive for the BS out there, and I don't want it. It's quite simple, and I think we all get like our brains. I had those pictures that I showed us last year of what the whole new age can do to us. We can get like completely like way too many rabbit holes and stuff. It's quite simple. It always was simple. It's just back to good old-fashioned basic values, which is just totally ridiculous that that's really what it is. But we sadly lost most of them. Just be more in tune. And as I said, if you're in America, you're definitely very near sacred ground, ancient sacred ground. So just tune into it, sprinkle some sand, go and put a crystal somewhere, do the water ceremony that I do. Just like stand and bless the water, stand and bless the earth. Give thanks to her. That's how we are healing our beautiful planet. And she's got thousands and thousands and thousands of years of pain. Yeah, so they're doing this, the Makara stuff, that I've been doing with the water, with the lilies, with the lotuses. That was so weird because that water card, it was very strange today. It was it reminded me a bit of clouds and then like intestines and then the churning of the waters. I didn't know. And then I thought, no, just look at everything as positive and it's your choice how to see it. And then I was looking at them again. I thought, oh my God, they look just like, it looks like hundreds and thousands, my hundreds and thousands of lotuses. So, the earth is like, Mother Gaia's actually showed me that that's what they look like. So, choose something that you do for yourself, whisper like little sweet dreams, sweet wishes. Everything is going out into the ethers and it'll find its right place to go. Just come with a sweet, sweet, sweet heart. Above all else, be kind. Okay, Shiva is not the sun, but he is the axis the sun moves along. I think Shiva is going to become more and more prevalent this year, and I've said a couple of years ago, which the Indians will save us, the Hindus. I mean, I don't do definitely they've got a lot to do, the indigenous people. But as going back to fact and digging up stuff because it's still written, and it was spoken, and it was like repeated very clearly and very strictly how it had to be said. And then who knows how long after that it was written down. So I think time obviously is also going to be strange. Shiva, remember, is also the Lord of Time. He's got like, I don't do the 1008 names of Shiva, but I do. I don't do them all at once. And they're really quite wonderful to read. He's the guardian of portals. He's the Lord of Time. He's the breath that clears stagnation. He witnesses that releases karma without suffering. Remember, Shiva means the kind one. He wasn't always. He was called Rudra before. And he was known as the Lord of Disease or the Lord of Health. He's also the holder of the serpent Vasuki, which is the ancient knowledge. But he also holds the negative aspect of the Nagas and the reptilians. He holds them in bay. He does a lot. And right now, I'm thinking it's like a blue throat moment for the planet with all the trauma that they want. So if you remember the story of um, the churning of the oceans, where they wanted the churning of the oceans, they wanted the elixir of immortality, and the demons and the gods got together. They agreed on one thing, and it was actually this my brain's goes dead. Vishnu and Brahma, who actually instigated the whole thing. But what first came up was Hala Hala, which was this horrible, horrible black stuff, which was all the grief and the pain and the negative energies that are on the planet, which would have destroyed the planet completely. So who comes in? Dun, 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 dun. Move over Superman, move over Spider-Man, move over Captain America. Here comes Shiva. And it's so important. It's like there's so many mistakes, and it's so important to know, because it's the whole being of the whole thing of that in the throat that we don't. You must not swallow. He didn't swallow the hala hala. He actually held it in his throat, which is why his throat is particularly blue. And Parvati came with the conch shell, and she actually caught the poison. I don't know what would have happened if he'd drunk it. Whoops. I know. Oh, Millie, isn't it beautiful? Yeah, I watch a lot of those. They really like such love. They're the love stories I never watched that I should have watched. Yeah, they're both blue. And Kalima too. Yeah, she's very old. Yeah. He's not. He's way. It's somewhere else. He's Andromeda's. They're much further away. Much further away. But yeah. But it doesn't. Yeah. It's what's really important is that you don't swallow your trauma, because that's what we've been doing. We swallow our tears. We don't cry. We don't talk. We swallow it. And it builds up, and it creates such poison and fester within us. So write it out, talk it out, cry it out, shout it out, sing it out, turn it into a love song, turn it into the blues, but please don't swallow it. Yeah. That's true. He's holding it there, and that whole dance, that's so beautiful, Millie. He's actually, oh, I love that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You can turn everything over. That's so beautiful. So easy. Because I've worked, I kind of drove myself kind of quite insane trying to hold that place. You're going to turn blue. Awesome. Yeah, it's very sweet. It's so beautiful. It's something that are really so beautifully done. Yeah. Well, that led to, oh my goodness, Millie, of course, it like affects your blood. It affects everything. It gives us high blood pressure or low blood pressure or migraines or all sorts. I mean, the body, it will affect the body. So it's poison. And that I remember hearing that many, many decades ago, that when you're angry, that your spit under your tongue is as venomous as a snake's. It's poison. So you're drinking that in yourself as well when you get angry. So try not to, sometimes it's just even just that literally fill your mouth with spittle and spit it out. The earth can take it for a while. She makes compost out of our shit. But it's really, please don't. It's like, it's, oh, it's going to be it's just going to be a whole nother big flipping business. And, the less people that, and it's sad. I told you that, in 2020, they were building this like loony bin here that cost at the time 40 million euros. That's a lot of fucking euros. And they were working, it was just before the pandemic. So they knew the pandemic was coming. They thought that this was it. So they built this psychiatric hospital, or a big wing in the psychiatric hospital here. And they were working overnight. They were working 24/7, which is like very unusual for Germans. They like to have their free time. But and that's, I hear little bits here and there everywhere. Is that so many kids are being like hospitalized or being medicated because they are developing psychic abilities. As I said, we're not ready for this, Yeah, yeah, literally, all my eyes exploding. I remember that's like because I've had to work with it in my day. We didn't have all these like little tricks and things. So you had to figure them out for yourself. Um, there was one time I was so angry. Oh my God, I was so angry. And I remember I didn't. I once threw a cup at my husband, and it was my best cup. So I was very upset that my cup was broken. So I didn't do that. My mother would say, grandmother would say, fill your mouth with water and count to 10. I said she must be joking. I'll just spit it straight out. But it wasn't with my husband, with Michael, that I was angry. It was anyway. And it was late at night. I couldn't go out for a walk and like walk that off. So I painted. It was so angry. I was so angry. And I was throwing the paint and attacking the paint. And it actually turned out to be quite an amazing picture. But I knew how angry it was. Yeah. And then I had like this weird woman in this building that we stayed in. Anyway, she also made me completely nuts. And I'd had a whole lot of art books. And I turned them around. It was actually the Impression book on Impressionism. And I had a bookshelf in the middle of my passage, so wherever I walked, I had to pass through that area. So I turned the book sideways, like, not like this. I turned it this way so that I saw this picture. And it was kind of like I imprinted that upon my brain. So that was my anger release picture. And that was something really beautiful, that I substituted the anger. But we have to keep finding. These are the things that we have to find for ourselves. How are we going to deal? How are we going to change? How are we going to share it with those that we can share it with your kids, with your family, with people that need to or open to hear. You can share 5 things and somebody will pick up one, and that's fine. And somebody will pick up nothing, and that's also fine. But going over and over and over the same flipping trauma, it's really quick, But that's why, that's they say with it's for me, it's such a little copycat, a little mirror image of the 60s when that became very popular. That's kind of, they say, what kind of like messed up Marilyn hugely was this constant that was, that was Freud, not just the sex thing, but it was the rehashing. Just keep going, talking about it over and over and over again. Bullshit, You don't need to do that. That's then you actually you concretizing it into your being. That's when you get that. We're talking about the loops. We don't want those loops that we go through. You know? We want to learn to. This is the time where the energy is really out there to try and turn into something. Usually, yeah. It does. It does. And I'll get back to some of the feng shui again, because that's the anger, and it's to do something creative, because that's in the 5 elements. There's always something different there. Yeah, you stay in that if you keep going, and that's, yeah, and it was just money, money, money. How many, psychiatrists made so much money. And then, of course, the medication, which it's chemicals, Nothing wrong. And we're in that again, absolutely. And that's what I say, we're in that mirror. And our poor kids, those poor teenagers out there, just pour out lots and lots of energy of love and understanding and freedom, and because they're in the system, It's great to say get out the system, but not everybody can afford to get out the system. Just like, so I said, we're not ready. We've been fucking around, excuse my beautiful language, but for way too long, which has been as part of the plan, to distract us so that when this comes, we're not ready. So we just all tumble, and we don't want to tumble, we've got to just, and that was, I just wrote that. What did I write? That this, it's a little rough. It was my thought for this morning. It's not really rough. A storm. A storm is coming. Wait, I can't read my writing. But I've said this before, that no one can control. I want to cry. I want to like it, but we've got to. That's being an anchor, being a light, being strong and firm in what you can do. And it does. That's the best. That's all you got to do is just be a light. My little bug. Thank you. Yeah. So enjoy the energy, and we will get back to simple things because we've made it so effing difficult. And that really drove me a little crazy the last couple of years. I mean, not just from internet, but that's of course this magnificent thing. This is a razor's edge, and this eats your brain cells. So you have to really choose it and use it with care. Some people really don't use it, and I really respect them. And I'm sure that if I was in South Africa and had other things to do with my life, I would not hardly ever use it. I've never liked a computer and things, but that just seems to be where the universe has thrown me. So we have to just use it. Don't let it use you. So back to the water, back to the water, back to the water. So, and this was back to that we were talking about. Don't swallow the poison. Hold it in the throat. Get it out into the conch shell. What would the conch shell be? Anybody got anything beautiful? It's singing, it's the throat. Obviously, we can go on and on about how the throat chakra gets stuck. Thank you, Victor. Love you too. I will see you. Yeah. So, yeah. Transmute and have a very, very, very happy, blessed new year. And it is the one time when you can actually wear black. It's one, but you know why. So we're going on the left-hand path for some of us in our black. Namaste, namaste, namaste. And yeah, I will see you soon. Enjoy the light. Love, 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 love. And thank you very much for being there. Love you so much all. And yeah. sharing. Bye, 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 bye.